Welcome to Healing in His Hands, a place for healing, faith, and just honest conversations where I apply scripture to real life. I'm your host, Mariah, and I just want to thank you for being here. So, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a long week, safe to say, but a fun one at that. We had some cousins come over for the week and just spend some time, so the kids enjoyed that to the fullest. I think it brought some emotions for sure for all the kids, just being able to kind of reminisce on Nick and just that time like yesterday when we drove to drop off their cousins on our way back. We were like an hour back into the drive, and my son just starts crying, and I was just like, "Oh, what's wrong? Like, why are you crying?" And he was just saying he misses his dad, and I feel like just the emotions, being with his cousins and just having that sense of nearness, because we were always all together. I feel like that just allowed my son to just express how he was feeling in that moment. And I just told him it was okay to cry. It was okay to feel the way he was. And that was totally normal. And I feel like that's just every day, every day is different. So we just take the good days with the bad and just keep on going. Um, this Sunday is my birthday. Um, I'm happy. I'm like, oh, it's my birthday. My mom and my sister are coming down, so that would be really nice, and I will be able to have a good time. And but I'm still just I just can't shake this feeling. I still just feel like sad. You know what I mean? I still feel sad. Like I'm just like, okay, like I'm just like not wanting to do nothing, just feeling like, oof, just not feeling the way that I know I should feel. So it's just been a little hard, but I feel like I'm just, okay. I guess it's just been a time for grief, and that's okay too. Um, Nick used to always spoil me on my birthday, and we just used to have I just love the way he made me feel loved. Like last year we had I remember I went to bingo with some friends, and my both of the kids ended up staying back with Nick. And when I got home from bingo, it was like pretty late. It was like a late nighttime bingo session. It was super crazy, but it was super fun. And when I got back, it was like pretty late, and I just remember walking in and just to a bunch of balloons and a big old heart chocolate made out of Reese's candy, my favorite candy, and flowers and cards from all of them. And oh man, it just felt really good. And that was Nick. That's just who he was. And he just made me feel special, even when we were mad at each other. So but yeah, definitely. So I guess it's just been sitting with me. So I've just been trying to shake it, trying to shake this feeling, but it's okay to not be okay. I know once my mom and my sister get here, I'll probably let out some tears or something, and that's okay too, but I know it will still be a good weekend. I'll still be able to have a joy-filled weekend. And I'm thankful and looking forward to it. So enjoy some Mexican food, my favorite food. But yeah, so we have finished the Job series. It is completely done. Oh man, I enjoyed it so much, you guys. I truly did. Just being able to express myself and open up about where I've been and where God has brought me. Just being able to just walk down, memory lane and just allowing scripture to really apply to where I was, in that time. And it was just such a healing thing for me. It really felt good to be able to talk about those things. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it encouraged you guys. But so now we are going to start in the book of Genesis, and that is one of the first books in the Bible. But we are going to fast forward a little bit into where Abraham is present. So we will start in chapter 18. I'm like, oh, my OG Bible, look, it's all coming apart. Oh, Lord have mercy. If you're seeing the visual on YouTube right now, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's been hanging with me. So, but yeah, so we'll go ahead and start here. And the chapter 18 is titled, A Son is Promised to Sarah. So, the Lord appeared to Abraham near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. One day Abraham was sitting at the entrance to his tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and noticed 3 men standing nearby. He invites them over. Come rest in my house. He tells his wife Sarah, cook them the finest meal that you have. So she starts preparing it and getting it together for them. And then Abraham serves them and they enjoy their meal. And then they say, where is Sarah, your wife? The visitors asked. And Abraham said, she's inside the tent. Then one of them said, I will return to you about this time next year, and your wife Sarah will have a son. Sarah was listening to this conversation from the tent. Abraham and Sarah were both very old by this time. Sarah was long past the age of having children, so she laughed silently to herself and said, how could a worn-out woman like me enjoy such pleasure, especially when my master, my husband, is also so old? Then the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, can an old woman like me have a baby? Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son. So I'm going to stop there. And so I'm telling you now, like, it's so crazy as I'm like reading this. Like, of course, spending time with God this morning, as I was asking God, like, what am I meant to share? I start reading this, and then God just reminds me to go ahead and look in my journal of things that I've written down. Oh, it's so crazy because there's just times in our life, where God tells us to do something, to move out of our comfort zone, right? To do something that we feel is impossible. And we look at him like, or even just hear him and we're just like, are you sure? God, are you sure? Me? Are you sure you said that to me? Are you sure that's not meant for somebody else? Like, are you sure that's the plan you have for my life? And, I just imagine Sarah, like she's laughing about it. And I know the Lord is angry with her laughing because he's like, again, I am he, I can do the impossible. Whatever you feel I can't do, I can. And sometimes it's hard just to wrap our head around that, I feel like sometimes we can just like, the doubts, the fears, all that comes to mind. And we start wondering about the what ifs and the future and the worries and the finances and the things that, how to make this come to pass, But if God said it will happen, we have to trust that it will, And, just brings me back to, so my journal, which I'll go ahead and read with you guys. So so I wrote this in July. And so now during this time, it's like, so Nick passed away in April, and in July, I'm just trying to get things together. I'm like, just trying to figure out, I'm still working. I have my cleaning business, so I'm still cleaning. I'm still doing what's needed. I'm still going hard, just doing whatever I have to just to make sure the bills are paid, to make sure I'm able to afford this house and our house in Sacramento. Just trying to do everything I can, the bills, all the things, And, I remember listening to podcasts and all that, just being encouraged, just listening to things as I'm cleaning and worship music. And I just get this idea. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm like, God, if this is what you have for me, and if I'm meant to move, then I'm meant to move, And I'm sitting here trying to contemplate on it. And I'm just like, okay, like, I feel like this is good. So I go ahead and I call one of my cousins. And I called my cousin and I look to her. She's like a mentor to me. I always call her for wisdom. I have a couple of people like that in my life that I call because it's always good to have those people that can speak into your life, I think I spoke about this a little bit on one of the episodes. But so I call her and so I tell her about my thoughts of moving. And she said she was literally going to call me and remind me that 2 years ago, from the same date that I called her, we were in Humboldt County here and we were cleaning up the house because Nick's sister had like made a big mess here. It was just really crazy. So we came here and deep cleaned it and like brought it back to ground zero. Oh, bless my cousin's heart. She came here and knocked that out with me. So thankful for her. And we were preparing for me and the kids to move there. I was even looking into schools for both of the kids, but things didn't go how I wanted. So I never did move. And I'm just like reading that, and it's just so crazy because it's like, again, my expectations were higher than when they should have been, honestly. It's like I wanted these expectations to be so high to where I wanted things to go the way I wanted them to go. But since they didn't, I chose not to be obedient and move then, Instead, I was like, no, I just was upset, because me and Nick were having this issue where we wanted to be near family, but then he was traveling back and forth from work and all the things. And I didn't want to be here in Humboldt County with the kids by myself. So it was just a lot to deal with. And I remember just being so frustrated with him and upset. But I remember God speaking to me during that time, just encouraging me, like telling me, showing me visions of like starting this booth. I remember I was like serving food to the homeless, and I even had like a barber there who was giving out free haircuts. It was such a good vision, and it was here. And I was just like, okay, God, that's what you have for me, but because things weren't going the way I wanted, because I didn't have my whole family here, and I was just worried about the what ifs and all my insecurities and all the things. I didn't follow through. So I ended up just cleaning this up, making it all nice. And then I moved back to Sacramento, and just stayed there. I didn't follow through with the move out here. And, it's so crazy. It is because like how the Lord, or how the person had told, not the Lord, sorry, how the person had told Sarah when he said, I will return to you about this time next year, and your wife Sarah will have a son. I think about this, It's like if the Lord would have told me, literally, okay? If he would have told me 2 years ago from this day, when my cousin was telling me, reminding me where we were at here at cleaning and stuff, if the Lord would have told me then, like, okay, you don't want to move? Then look, let me just tell you now, 2 years from now, you will be living here. You will be. Whether you like it or not, you will be living here, because the calling I have for your life is so great. You just don't even know what's here for you in Humboldt County. And I honestly, if God would have told me that, just like that, just like Sarah, okay, I would have laughed because I'm like, are you sure? You know what I mean? Like that's literally where my mind goes. Me doubting God. Me putting a limit on him. When he's limitless. Me putting that limit on him. Me worried about things that I shouldn't have even been worried about? And it's just so crazy to even acknowledge, because I'm just like, wow, like if he would have told me that, I wouldn't have believed it. I would have I would have been like thinking it was my own voice in my own head. I wouldn't believe that it was God's voice at that time. If he told me that this is where I would be, fast forward 2 years from this day, living here. And so as I continued what I wrote down in my journal, I said, now here we are, 2 years later, and I'm ready to move, okay, to Humboldt County. But this time without Nick. And it's just like, whoa, it's like before I was so worried, so worried. I didn't want to live out here before because I didn't want to be alone with just the kids, and I wanted to be close with Nick. I wanted to be wherever he was at, I that was just wherever he was at, that's where I wanted to be. And oh, sorry. And now here we are, right? Here we are living in Humboldt County, and I'm still by myself, just me and the kids. And but of course now it's a whole different situation. I can't follow Nick wherever he goes and be up under him and just wanting to be near him because because I don't have that anymore, because he's not here with us anymore. So um, it sucks, it does. It sucks. And I'm so sorry. I'm just crying right now because ugh, that just sinks in. But again, that was my expectation of what I wanted then, 2 years from then, wanting to have our family together, and just wanting to be near him and close to him like I always did. And here we are, and unfortunately I don't get that. I just, it's, it's so sad. It is. It sucks. But seeing that God was literally telling me then, that this is what's meant for me, because God already knew the opportunities and the joy that it would bring from me being here. And who knows, right? It's like the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I could sit here and just dwell on the past and the what ifs and what if I did listen to God then, but I'm here now. And being here has been wow. Like ever since I've moved in, it's been just being here permanently, has been so like refreshing, so refreshing. It's been so good. And that brings me to the next part of scripture. So I'll fast forward a little bit more into chapter 21. And this is titled The Birth of Isaac. So it says, "The Lord kept his word and did for Sarah exactly what he had promised. She became pregnant and she gave birth to a son for Abraham in his old age. This happened at just the time God had said it would. And Abraham named their son Isaac." Man, I don't know why I just getting emotional again. Sorry, guys. Man, just the power of his voice, just the power of being obedient and listening to him. It's like, don't allow doubts to consume your mind because, man, just imagine if I did listen to his voice. It's crazy. But, and Abraham named their son Isaac. 8 days after Isaac was born, Abraham circumcised him as God had commanded, and Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. And Sarah declared, "God has brought me laughter. All who hear about this will laugh with me. Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse a baby? Yet I have given Abraham a son in his old age." It's just that joy she felt, and just brings me to now, to me, just being able to laugh and be filled with joy because of what God has brought me here in Humboldt County. Moving here has been, man, it's like just climbing up a mountain, but here I am, like, I'm here. And I'm just so thankful because God has literally provided for me every step of the way. He has literally carried me from the finances to my children and their friends at school to our church community, finding a church, being able just to grow in this church, even getting offered a position at this church. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm just like, God has literally done beyond what I can even comprehend. Like, it's crazy to me, but that's just God being God, you know? And now I could just laugh, but not laughing because of my doubts and like questioning him about what he has for me. It's like I'm laughing because I'm filled with joy because what he said would happen did, you know? And of course, um, it's not the way that I expected, and it might not even be the way that I would have wanted it to be, right? Because I would want Nick to be here, you know, to experience this and be with us. But I know he's happy where he's at. I know he's flourishing, and I know that he's looking down from heaven, just so happy that God has literally just been carrying us and taking care of us and making sure we're good. Oh, I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful. I truly am. Because I know that he's not having to stress no more. Like, Nick used to stress about so much stuff, you guys. Like, oh, so much stuff. So just knowing that he doesn't have to worry about anymore and none of it, like he's able just to live carefree and just do whatever he wants is such a blessing. And I'm thankful for that. I truly am. And I know that we will continue to hurt down here because we are alive, you know, and we're a part of this cold world and we have to still deal with sorrow and grief and all the things, you know. But he doesn't. He doesn't. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy for him. So happy. I always ask God just to oh, sorry. Like times like this when I'm sad, I'm always asking God just to remind me of the good times, remind me or show me a vision of show sorry. Show me a vision of Nick just being happy, you know? And he gives me that. You know, I'm so thankful. I truly am. I know all these tears, it's like, so sorry. Oh, it's been, yeah, it's been a grief-filled day. But I am so thankful I am because God continues to carry me and he just reminds me that he's always had my back as long as I listen to him, as long as I follow where he leads me, as long as I hold his hand. I just continue. I'll be okay. I will be okay as long as I'm just focused on him. Every time I'm not focused, like he literally shows me. He showed me this before, but having like horse blinders on, and the horse blinders, you know how they have them, and it's because the horse can't look any other way but straight. You know, and God has literally given me the vision of me having these horse blinders on, and the only thing I can see is him. And I always look to that. I always do when I'm distracted, when I'm just consumed with grief, when I'm consumed with sadness up to the point of depression. I look to him. I ask him just to guide me and to lift me up with his strength, to carry me when I can't carry myself. And I'm just so thankful because he does that so willingly, you know? So, but yeah. Really good. We're going to continue in the book of Genesis because it just continues to to get good, where um, next episode will go towards the testing of God. And it's such a good, it's still in the book of Genesis, with Abraham and Isaac. It's a good story. So, but I will, of course, relate that to what God has brought me through. So, but of course, we will end off with the healing in his hands declaration. So you can close your eyes or you don't have to. It's totally up to you. But in his hands, I am healed. In his hands, I am restored. The same hands that have carried me through will continue to sustain me. I am safe. I am seen. I am held in his hands. One more time. In his hands, I am healed. In his hands, I am restored. The same hands that have carried me through will continue to sustain me. I am safe. I am seen. I am held in his hands. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys on the next episode. Love you guys.